Hi everyone, and welcome to Gardening and Canning in the City. Today I'm making a peach almond conserve. I have a lot of people ask me, what is the difference between a jam and a conserve? Well, a conserve has, not only does it have its fruits, it also has dried fruits and nuts in it. This one has peaches and it also has almonds, and it is incredible on pancakes, waffles, or you can put it on top of meats like a pork loin or chicken a couple minutes before it's done, and it tastes really good. So come on, let's go make it. This recipe comes from the Complete Book of Home Preserving from Ball. It is on page 79. And here I have 7 cups of sugar, 1 cup of maraschino cherries. I used the Bordeaux brand. It doesn't have as much junk in it, and it doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup, and it's all organic. So I tried that one. And then I have 2 cups of chopped and seeded oranges. You leave the peel on. And then I have 1 cinnamon stick, all broken up, a teaspoon of allspice, and a teaspoon of cloves, and then a half a cup of almonds. So, and here is the peaches. For the peaches, I have 8 cups of peaches, all chopped and ready to go. So, we start by combining the peaches, the oranges, and the spice bag. I'm going to put all this in a spice bag. And then we're going to let it boil gently for 15 minutes until the fruit is softened. So, we'll start with that. So, oranges. And let me make up the spice bag here. Alright, so I now have the peaches and the oranges and the spice bag with the allspice and the cloves and the cinnamon sticks. They're all ready to go. We're going to bring this over high heat to a boil, and then we're going to reduce it, and we're going to cook it for 15 minutes. So, have you come back when this is boiling, and we'll be ready to go. So our conserves are about ready to start boiling. It's just simmering now. We'll give it a few minutes. Boy, this smells really good. My spice bag's in here somewhere. Spicing it up. There it is, right there. So, it's really important when you make this recipe to make sure you have all the ingredients. For the peaches, you want peaches that are nice and firm, but you don't want anything that has bruises or anything like that on it. You want them ripe, but usually I just like it to where they have a little bit of give to them, to where they're sweet, but they're not overly ripe. Usually when you're canning, you just want them to have sweetened, but not mushy. So I'm going to give us a few more minutes to boil. And then we're going to boil it for 15 minutes. Boy, it smells good. Oh, the orange and the peaches and the allspice and the cloves. Oh man, it just smells so good. Usually when I use this for meats, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll mix it with, I get balsamics that are different flavors that have like a peach balsamic. There's a company I get it from. And it's really good to mix this with a peach balsamic over chicken or over pork loin. Oh man, tell you what, it just melts in your mouth. So, I hope you give this a try. You know, this was kind of intimidating for me. I really didn't want to make a conserve. I didn't try making them for years. I just kind of stuck with jams. But this one was really interesting because I love peaches and almonds. Absolutely love almonds and peaches together. It's just a great flavor. And my daughter loves maraschino cherries. And so it was like, you know, 3 great ingredients all combined into one. What more could you ask for? So that's what, you know, kind of piqued my interest a couple years ago to try this recipe. And I'm so glad I did, because it is so good. And it has a totally different flavor. It's not necessarily the same as when you make like a orange marmalade or something like that. This is completely different because it's really chunky. And when you put it on pancakes and waffles, it's totally different. I really couldn't explain it. You really have to try it. And it's not something that you could go to a grocery store and buy on the shelf. You'll never find anything like this on the shelf. That's why it's so nice when you're making your own canning recipes. You can make them with your own ingredients. You know that you don't have the junk in it. I love to use, organic produce and, organic herbs, so that I know the best is going in for my family. I want to make sure that, if I'm going to go through all this work, I'm not going to have the crap in it. I'm going to have healthy and no chemicals. Because I tell you what, if you've ever seen how they spray those chemicals, my friends and I, we go to Heirloom Expo every year. It's in California, in Northern California, up in wine country. And we have to drive by fruit trees that are being sprayed. And I tell you what, they take those huge water trucks and they just spray down one side, and then they turn around and come around the other direction and they spray down the other side. And the whole tree is white. And it's just, I've never realized they spray so many chemicals. From then on, it was like, I'm an organic girl now. I can't have that in my food. So, this is getting ready to come up to a boil. We're going to boil it for 15 minutes, and then we're going to put the sugar in. So, be right back. Alright everyone, it's been boiling for 15 minutes now. And now we're going to add the sugar all at once. You want to measure it and just put all in the pot at once. You want to do this with all jams, jellies, anything like that. You just want to pour it all in there. And then we're going to mix it up and let it dissolve. Come back to a full rolling boil. And we're going to boil it for another 15 minutes. Oh man, it smells incredible. It smells like a peach pumpkin pie, I guess would be about the closest explanation for it, because let me tell you, it is incredible. This would be great to make around the holidays, because it would really be really good over some cream cheese and some crackers. That would be incredible. Alright, so we're going to let this come up to a full rolling boil and boil it for 15 minutes. Alright everyone, our 5 minutes is up. It's been at a full rolling boil, and you can see it's getting nice and thick now. It's beautiful. So if you have a recipe that says to bring it to a full rolling boil, do not start your time until you see this. This is a full rolling boil. Now we're going to put in our maraschino cherries and our almonds. And we cook it for another 5 minutes. And then we're going to test for set. So I'll show you how to do that. We'll be right back. Alright. Our conserve is all done. You can see how beautiful it is. It's a nice burgundy. It's got all the oranges and almonds and cherries, peaches. Oh, it's incredible. Okay, so in order to test for set, since there's no pectin in this recipe, what you do is you put a little bit on, this was in the freezer, this plate was in the freezer, so you let it freeze for a few minutes, or go in the freezer for like a minute, and then you just put your finger through it. And you can see you got a nice gel there. You can see it's not running back, so it's nice and thick. It's ready. Oh, that's so good. Alright, so I gotta find my spice bag. It's in here somewhere. The disappearing spice bag. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. It was hiding in the corner. So we're gonna take this out. That was with the spices inside of it. You want to make sure you take that out before you can everything up. Alright, we go. Let me get some jars out and we'll get to canning. Alright, so here we go. We're going to get canning up. My jar is simmering while everything else was cooking. And I have my lids. They're all nice and hot. I've had a lot of people asking, even in the groups, they always say, well, do I need to make them hot or do I not need to make them hot? So my opinion is the old time, way back when, they had rubber rings and it was thick. It wasn't, it doesn't come off, but it was rubber. Now it's more of a plastic and they don't seal as well. So, even though the box says that you don't need to heat them up, I find that if I heat them up, I have less failures. So I always heat them up. But, my kitchen, my rules. So, alright, so here we go. We're going to ladle these into jars, and it's a 1/4 inch headspace. Oh, yum, 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 yum. I can't wait. Alright. Oh, it's more in that one. Alright. Oh, a little too much now. Okay, like usual, let me show you. If you come down here, if you're new to canning, use the little tool. But you see right there, you see there's your 1 inch. There's actually, if you look at the other side, there's like a 1/2 inch. This is your 1/8 inch headspace right there. That's what you need for jams and jelly. So that's where that goes. I mean, it's a little, like, just under a 1/4 inch. So, let me put this back there because I gotta clean the rim off before I put the lid on. I like to do 2 at a time. Alright. Well, put too much in there too. A little bit out, no big deal. Come down here, you can see it's got a little bit too much. Headspace is really, really important because you don't want it too much in there because it'll boil over. And not enough, it's going to have too much air and it's not going to be able to properly seal. So, now I'm going to take this and clean my rim off. Always make sure, even though your jars are brand new, always check. I've had chips out of the top of my jars on brand new jars. So always check your jars. And then put the lids on. Screw them down. I need 2 hands to screw them down. And then put them in the canner. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to fill the rest of these up and then we'll can them up. Be right back. Alright, I got them all jarred up. I got 10 jars out of that recipe. Plus I got a little bit more just to snack on some toast later on. So, got it in my Victoria water bath. Make sure you have at least 1 inch over the top of the water of the cans. And I'm in zone 1, so I'm going to wait till I get to the green section as it's boiling, and then I'm going to start the timer, and I'm going to boil it for 15 minutes. Alright, be right back. Okay, so I've let it boil for 15 minutes. I'm going to vent this for 5 minutes and let it come down to a cooler temperature, and then I will pull the jars out, and I will let them sit overnight with the rings on as they all plink down. And then once I've let them sit for 24 hours, I'm going to take the rings off and label them and put them on the shelf. Well everyone, the peach almond conserve is all done. Look at that jar. Isn't it beautiful? Now I'm going to take the rims off and I'm going to label the top and stick it on the shelf. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait to try it. So thank you for coming along and joining me in this canning session. If you'd like to see more, please like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you have a great time canning. Come on back. See you soon.